Hello there, good morning everyone. Sorry I'm a little bit late this morning. I was doing a live stream on another Facebook channel and I'm only just tidying everything up and then I couldn't get connect. Anyway, we're here now and it's so nice to have so many of you. So 371 on Facebook already, and we're live on YouTube at the same time. So morning Lisa. And let me just mute myself. Do this every week, don't I? You don't want to listen to me. Who have we got then? Sunny south of France, says Michelle. And if I miss anybody, I do apologise, by the way. We normally get so many messages throughout the course of the morning. Tend to miss some people, but I do go back and read everybody afterwards. Good morning, Nuna. Sunny in Bedfordshire. That's all YouTube. And right, let me scroll down. Morning, Brenda. Morning, Julia. Alex is first in there. The demo went well. I didn't quite finish. We lost the internet halfway through, so it's in two parts, but we did it. Morning, Maggie. Morning, Helen. Morning, Mandy, and Simon Taylor and Denise and everybody on Facebook. Morning, Jean. Thank you. Yes, I think so. I think it went well. Raining in North Wales. Morning there. Morning Chrissy, raining today. Oh, thank you very much. Cheryl's in Pennsylvania in the US of A. Hello to you. Hi Deborah, hi Sabine in Germany. Spend all day doing this, couldn't we? Now then, I've got a little Easter basket demo for you. And hello, good evening to Kate in Dolby in Australia. Morning, Lee, sorry. Yeah, Lisa, Kim cut my hair. So thank you. I haven't been to the hairdresser for over a year. I don't think I'll ever go back again. The rabbits chewed through electric. Oh dear. It's never too early for a drink, Tracy. Just imagine you're in Australia. It's evening then. And hi, Janice and Susan. So I want to show you some new things we've got on the website because we've been spending rather a lot, which is quite exciting. Thank you very much, Beverly. Mint velvet, don't you know? And then we're going to do the bag demo, and I think I've got a little ditty. I'm going to. It's something that I just quite enjoy doing when I've gone long car journeys and I get a little bit bored, or when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll sit and maybe write a little bit of poetry. So I'm going to share with you a little ditty. I was going to call it Debbie's Ditties, but my husband thought it sounded rude. My daughter didn't know what a ditty was, so thanks, Lisa. Morning, Kim. I wish it was a fabric range coming out soon. Thank you very much, Judy. Anyway, so I want to show you some new website things first of all. You've been going bundle crazy on the website, and we've got some new ones for you. So this, I'm thinking bags. I've made a bag out of these 3 last year. I think I gave it away because I couldn't find it to show you. Question about your convertible bag. Can I use cork for bait? Yes, you can. And yes, Lizzie, there are different thicknesses of fusible fleece. I tend to use an H640 or an H630. H630 is slightly thinner than an H640, so those are the two that I would use. Anyway, we're looking at fabrics. This is canvas. I think it is beautiful and fresh and spring-like. And oh, Debbie, I'm all over the place today, I know. Hi, Miroslava in Bulgaria. Hello. Right. So that's 140 wide, and it's a really nice quality canvas, perfect for bag making. And we're also including some faux leather. Again, that's 140 wide, so you're getting lots of it. And this is the super soft faux leather. It's not kind of stiff and shiny and cheap looking. It's a really beautiful fabric to work with. And then there's a green forest green cotton, which is great for a lining as well. But cushion covers you could make with these two. That would look lovely. So that's new on the website. I think £17.50. It's only gone on today, and there's half a metre of each of those. You can easily make 2 really good sized bags out of those. So I wanted to show you that. Lisa. Oh, this is a bundle that we've got back in stock. We keep selling out of stuff. So I need another table. This is the Wildflower canvas collection. So this time you have half a metre of the canvas, you have half a metre of pink cotton, and then half a metre of the forest green. This is canvas this time. The bundle with the faux leather is in a cotton, this one is in a canvas. So those again are £17.50. I'll run you through these really quickly because we don't want a whole telly-selly malarkey going on a Saturday morning, do we? But I keep selling out, so I just don't want you to miss out. Now Lisa was asking about fabrics to make the kimono from the Half Yard Club, which isn't viscose, which can be quite tricky to work with. How about, Lisa, cotton lawn? These are beautiful. Let me show you close up. I'm not normally a fan of lawn. I tend to find it's really, really thin, but this is a really lovely quality. I mean, it's lighter than the quilting cotton. It's lighter than poplin, but it's a really lovely quality. And unlike with, thank you, unlike with, got a cup of coffee. Unlike with viscose, it doesn't fray, and it does fray, but nowhere near as much as the viscose. And I love the colours on this as well. So if you wanted to make the reversible jacket, I think that would be absolutely perfect. Lisa's sitting with her feet up. Oh no, she's got a broken toe. Oh, yeah, you sit with your toe up. I'll read you my ditty in a minute. This again is cotton lawn, all brand new. And it's nice to have something new, isn't it? I get really excited. You could still put some fleece or interfacing on the back of it and make it a little bit more stable if you wanted to use it for bag making or anything that you need a heavier fabric for. That's got little rosebuds on it. It's so pretty. No matter, the kimono is, I've made it one size which is kind of up to a size 18, which I'm not, but it fits me because it's quite loose. But you increase the width of the chest by ½ an inch up or down for each different size, so it's ever so easy to adjust. This is another cotton. I love this colour. Look at this one. So if you have a look on Debbie Shaw Sewing, oh thanks Sheila, I've got a nice hot cup of coffee. I'm going to have a sore throat by the end of the day today. Cher's got a new iron today. Thank you Sandra, nice to hear from you too. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's so elegant and just so sophisticated. That's posh fabric. Again, that's a cotton lawn. While we're here really quickly, we have some jersey tubing, which you can use for ribbing. So that comes by the ½ metre. It's in a complete tube, but if you're making necklines on t-shirts and sweatshirts and things like that, that's going to be ideal. We do have different types of different colours of those as well. There's a black and there's a plum coloured one, but that's a brand new colour for you. We also have stretch denim. Now the stretch denim that we had previously, the mid-toned one, it keeps selling out. We do have that back in stock again, and we've got the light blue as well, so it's got a nice little bit of give. So if you're making jeans or leggings or a skirt or something like that, then that's going to be ideal. Those are viscoses. You might have seen those before. But if you have a look on debbieshawsewing.com, and underneath the videos there's like new in and sale items as well, so take a look there. Oh, and we do have these scissors. Honestly, hundreds and hundreds of you have been ordering these. I can't believe the price. I was asked to try them out. In fact, I've got a couple of pairs of Corbon scissors, and they sent them to me just for an honest opinion, which I tend to give, particularly with tools. And I thought, you know, I actually really like those. They're left and right-handed. They're really lightweight. They're incredibly sharp all the way to the point, which I like. 9-inch blades on those. And I thought, you know, I'm going to have some of those on the website. So I ordered both of them and quite a few of them. And to be honest, I ordered them before I realised how much they are. And these are £7.99. You know the way they say that you get what you pay for as far as scissors are concerned? You don't. Honestly, I was quite blown away at how affordable they are. And the ones with the black handle, they're just the same. They're just as lightweight. They're just as easy to use. They're left and right-handed again. I think they're £5.99 for dressmaking shears. I know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, that's what's new on the website. That's what's coming up. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I love Corbond. It's I'm quite new to them, to be honest, and they're only down the road from me. So I'm going to be working with them quite a lot. We've got lots of storage things and sewing machine bags, and I got quite carried away with them. We've got a lot of their things. Do you want to hear a little ditty? Oh, Mimi, not very well today. Oh, yes, they are back in stock, Sylvia. We've got both of those in stock at the moment. No, I didn't make my blouse, Tracy. I don't have time to do things like that. In fact, to make my own clothes, I'll be wearing a towel for most of the day. Would you like to hear a little poem? Okay. Oh, we've got hearts as well. Good. Should be telling you all this stuff. Are you ready? This one is called My Favourite Chair. It's not fair when people stare at the gaping tear in the seat of my favourite chair. I just glare because they're not aware that I can make a repair in the gaping tear in the seat of my favourite chair. With a little care and a little flair, a stitch here and a stitch there, I can repair the tear in the seat of my favourite chair. Now they don't stare at the gaping tear in the seat of my favourite chair. They just stare at my favourite chair and say, how debonair. Can I place my derriere? Guess where? In the seat of my favourite chair. I just say, oh yeah, because I really don't care. Like that. My husband will be sitting in the house going, oh no, she didn't read that out, did she? She didn't read it out. Right, should we do some sewing? There is a video on my YouTube channel, I'm ever so sorry, I can't remember your name, which is quite a big basket. It's a blue and yellow one, like a tote bag, and I was asked to make a smaller version for a child, and I thought, well, coming up to Easter, a small version of that basket for an Easter hunt bag would be quite a nice thing to do at this time of year. Alison, I'm making a little bag. I'm glad you liked it. I've got lots of those in my mind, these little poems. I don't know about Poet Laureate Mary. Right, would that be a ladder stitch? It probably would be a ladder stitch. Mending the tear in my favourite chair. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, so it's only going to be a small basket, but I wanted to explain, that doesn't look quite right, oh it is, how to get the measurements so that you can make this in any size that you like, because it's got a separate base. So the sides of it are angled like that, and the sides go around a square base or rectangular base that sits in the bottom. So there is a little bit of maths involved in this. So let me get my ruler, and we shall give everything a measure and let you know how to make it. Thank you, Kath. I'm glad you like my ditty. I do like a bit of a ditty. So this is only going to be a little basket, and I've cut the main shape out of foam. So this is Bosal foam. So I'm just lining that up because, oh yeah, that's right. So I cut a strip. Do you reckon, Amanda? A poetry book, which is that's 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. Sorry, 6.5 inches this way, and it is 14 inches in that direction. So cut out the rectangle of foam. I saved these bits to show you where they go. So that was like that. Then I've measured in 1.5 inches from each side here, and cut from that 1.5 inch mark all the way up to the corner. Hi Glenda in South Africa. And oh, thanks, Lydia. Oh, do press the like button if you're enjoying yourself on YouTube. And I keep forgetting to mention that if you subscribe on YouTube and then click on the bell-shaped icon, then you'll have. Ain't it a pity she's only one ditty? Oh, Paula, I've got competition in the world of ditties. Yeah, if you click on the bell, then you get a notification whenever I go live or whenever a new video comes up there or anything like that. So it doesn't cost anything to be a subscriber on YouTube, but it will mean that you're informed when anything happened. Oh, thanks, Eve. Morning, Ramali in Sri Lanka. She's got a part-time job, Lisa, my daughter, cutting hair. Hello, Carol in sunny Spain. Linda in Mablethorpe. Debbie does ditties. I've got a few ditties up my sleeves. Right, so that's that. So cut away these two corner pieces, and that's going to be the shape of my bag. Again, this can be in any size that you like. This is going to be a strap that goes over this way. So that's a 1-inch piece of Basel foam, and it measures in at 16 inches in length. Make that as long or as short as you like. And then the base. So this is where the maths comes in. And this is the bit that I wanted to explain. Because you imagine the base is going to wrap around like so. Like that. So that's going to be the shape of my bag. So it needs to measure from halfway here all the way across to halfway there, which is actually the same as measuring one short side and one long side. So if I was to place my long side here, my short side there, that's the exact measurement of the base. So if you're going to make this into a bigger bag, so for instance, if your base is going to be 18 inches wide and across here, then you'll need to make your base here, if that's 4 inches wide, 14 inches in this direction. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't do your base any more than 4 or 5 inches wide, because that would make it a box. But if your base is 4 inches wide, but your bag is 18, that leaves you 14 inches for this. So 4 inches for the base, 14 inches for this. If you wanted a 16-inch base and a 4-inch width to the base, then you need to take the 4 inches off the 16, which leaves you 12 inches for this bit here. So that's your maths lesson. Of course, you don't have to shape the sides. The sides could be straight. I like that kind of shape for a basket though, because I think it's very baskety. Now I've cut this out of the interfacing, so when I cut the fabric out, it needs to be a seam allowance bigger all the way around, and that can be 1/4 of an inch, or it can be 1/2 an inch, or a centimetre, or whatever it is that you want to make it. So I'm going to have mine about a centimetre or just under 1/2 an inch wider, and I'm just going to use two fabrics. The basket on the YouTube video, I've used a different colour at the top than I did at the bottom. Actually, that would be nice in that faux leather bundle, wouldn't it? So you could have the white faux leather at the bottom, I should have done that, and then the lily canvas at the top, and then the green as the lining of the handle. That would be very nice. Oh, thanks Yvonne in Somerset. Tracy's finishing a work jacket. Oh, Chilly in West Yorkshire. Debbie. I know, Lisa, that's on YouTube somewhere as well. Yeah, that was my version of homeschooling for you, Leah. Right, so outside, let's do outside leaping bunnies. So I need 2 pieces of this, and I'm just going to iron. I need to leave a seam allowance all the way around, remember. So from the fabric side down, I haven't got any water in my iron for steam, but let's see if I can fussy cut that a little bit so I'll get my rabbits in the centre. I can feel where the edge of that is, and we'll just iron that in place. Oh, one net. Dit is such a Frankie Howard kind of word, isn't it? Oh, trying to wake up. Elaine, wake up. It's 5:30. Is it light at 5:30 in Florida, I wonder? Annette, no, they are all clean. My mother used to write poetry. She was a very clever lady, my mum. She would have been 99 last week. She'd have hated it. Right, so that's ironed on. Normally with Bosal, it likes steam, but I've run out of water, so that will do. Just give it another squish around the edge. That will do. Morning, Lynn. Then, where's my fabulous scissors gone? Here we go. I'm going to cut this about 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre from the edge. Oh, Sue, I'd use a universal needle. I wouldn't bother with a quilting needle unless you've got any already. For free motion embroidery, I wouldn't. No, just universal's fine. Right, let's snip across here. Where can I find your kimono pattern? Is it down? Oh, the kimono, Roberta, is a members project for my half-yard sewing club. So you need to be a member for that one. If you take a look at halfyardsewingclub.com, you'll be able to get an idea of what it's all about there. And if somebody doesn't mind just posting a discount code, it's welcome18, so welcome in capital letters 18, and if you use that discount code you get a month for free, so you can have a good old look around the projects and see whether you like it or not before you decide if you're going to join up, because don't want you wasting your money if you don't like it. Let's have another couple of rabbits on here, and again I'll try and centralize that somewhat. That'll do. Irene's late today. Sarah's been up since 4:45. Thank you, Alex. Morning, Marcia in Italy. Just getting daylight in Massachusetts. Oh, that was hot. So a nice bit of heat on there to stick it down. That'll do, and then we'll do the same. So we'll cut this out with the same. Thanks, Harbant. Seam allowance. Like so. Then I'll need to use the size of the fabric here, so not the foam this time, but of the fabric, to cut out the lining pieces. I'm not doing pockets or anything like that in this, it's just a really simple basket. The main thing I wanted to explain to you was how to gauge the size of the base. I hope that made sense. That'll do there. And then my lining, 2 pieces of this. Oh, we need to do the base as well. Oh, forgot about that. And so I'm just going to use that as a template. I'd normally use my rotary cutter, to be honest, here. And I'm just going to cut around the shape of the fabric. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm so glad you like it. We've got lots planned for this year. Half Yard Club is actually, we're having a new website. It's being built at the moment. We've got some testers looking at it right now. So it's going to look very much the same, but behind the scenes, like the backbone of it, is going to be a lot more efficient. It's there's a few thousand of you as members now, so we need to make it a little bit more efficient. So that's what's going on at the moment. So I think by the end of April, everything will all be brand new and shiny. You don't have to do anything, or, you know, it'll just be the same for you, but everything will work a lot better, which is really exciting. Okay, let's do this base bit. That's going to be the handle, so we do that in this. Happy birthday to Tracy's mum. Right, that on there. So I'm not worried about fussy cutting the bottom, because it's the bottom and Noah's going to sit anyway. Thank you, Wendy. Glad you're enjoying the sewing. Cher's got lots of birthdays this weekend. Not any birthdays for a while coming up yet. Morning, Reshma and Trinidad. We're making a little Easter basket. We were, because we didn't have much of a Christmas last year, did we? So we were saying last year that maybe we should do Christmas or the celebrations at Easter instead of in Christmas. But I don't think it's going to be any different at the moment. So we're going to do Easter stockings and Easter presents, and still do it, I suppose. No reason why we can't. Right, so again, I'm just leaving about 1 centimetre or just under ½ inch seam allowance. You do whatever you like around there. And I'll need to cut a base piece from my contrast fabric as well. Hello, Nadette in Malta. All right, let's cut here. So just to the size of the fabric. I think the Bosal foam is a nice stabiliser to use for projects like this as well, because it keeps it nice and firm. If you're going to use something like the H640s, it's going to be a little bit floppy. Or I'll tell you what you could use. We have, I think I've got some here. The Decaville. This is on the website as well. I've got 2 different weights. So one's quite heavy and one's a little bit finer. This is the fine one. So it's still going to stand up, but easy to sew through. So this is adhesive on one side. You can see the shiny side, and that'll stick to the back of your fabric, and that makes a nice stiffness to the bag, but without the thickness, if that makes sense. And then this is the heavier one. So if it was a bag, I'd make it a bigger bag, because this really is thick. It's like leather. So with smaller bags, I think it's going to be quite difficult to turn through. So things like your large baskets, tote bags, that kind of thing will be ideal. Or if you're making boxes and bowls, that would make a nice bowl. That's one of the projects on Half Yacht Club this month, isn't it, the bowl? Right. Linda, Miss Scissors are amazing. If you weren't watching earlier, I'm sure we've got some stock left. We had hundreds of them. They're only £7.99 on my website. They are. I couldn't believe the price. I think they're fantastic ribbons. Anyway, let's do the handle while we're here as well. So to recap, we have 2 outer pieces with Bosal foam on the one side, 2 lining pieces cut to the same size, 1 base piece cut around Bosal, and 1 base piece cut from lining, and then with the strap, there we go. Again, I'm just going to iron a piece of fabric over this. But then I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times. So I've left, you can see where that is there. I've left a good inch or a couple of centimetres each side, so I've got plenty of fabric. We do sell this on the website, Lindsay. It is debbieshawsewing.com. Hello, Avril in Sardinia. Yes, Jane, you can use Bosal for the origami box. There. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit bigger. Don't you love that noise? So you can go down there. I think we're finished. Are we finished with that? For a minute. So I'm going to cut this about 1 inch bigger along the one side. Doesn't matter, that's not the straightest cut in the world. And then I'm just going to fold that over, and I will iron that. So I'm literally wrapping the fabric around the strap. Heidi, I am using an ironing mat that I made myself. It was on my Facebook page. I did it live at the beginning of January. I can't remember the date. But if you go to the videos on Facebook, on this page where you are now, and just scroll down until you see it. Thanks, Leah. This, Maria, is a Prim mini iron. It's not the one that I do all the laundry with, it's the one that I use for sewing, because it's nice and compact. It'll sit at the side of my machine and doesn't take up too much space, but it's very hot. So it may be small and compact, but it's a proper little iron and it's easy to use. So I like to have this 2nd of January, thank you Alex. I like to keep it just at the side of the sewing machine because otherwise, so I'm just folding that over and neatening the edge. I'd have to go and switch the big iron on and wait for it to heat up and go to the ironing board, and I can't get very far because I'm all wired up with my microphone. Right, so that's just like that. I'm not folding the ends under because those are going to go into the seam at the top of the bag. Put that there. Now just before I sew, this is a little tip as well. If you have a glue stick, I know it's so useful, I love these. We've got all of these tools and boxes and storage, Heidi, yes we do, on the website, and I love storage. I don't know about you, I like to be organised, I like to know where everything is. Laundry, I do my own laundry. Well, there's only 2 of us anyway. Well, there's 3 of us. There's Tyler. We all do our own. I think we're all quite fussy. Gary doesn't like anything in the tumble dryer. I like everything in there. So I'm using a glue pen just to hold that in place. Don't rush out buying one if you don't have one, but that's kind of saves on pinning. And that'll just hold it in place until I start to sew. And it's got the Prim iron, it's lovely. Right, oh, has my coffee gone cold? Let me have a catch up while I'm doing this. Yes, Elaine, the foam has, I'm covered in glue now, one adhesive side to it. It's the rough side of the foam. So that goes on the back of the fabric and the heat from the iron sticks it down. My sound's still, I'm still the same sound wise. I'm almost up to the limit here. Yes, thank you, Zal. My cats have, they sleep in very unusual places. The one of them has found a shelf that she likes to sleep on at the moment. I'm just going to sew straight down the centre of this one. So I'm lengthening the stitch slightly, because it's more of a quilting stitch, this one. It's not a seam, so I can make it a little bit longer, and I'm going to go straight down the middle to where the fold is in that fabric. Let's wrap that over a little bit more, and then I'm going to sew down both sides as well, just because I think it looks nice. So that's one, and I'm just going to go down both sides. So purely decorative, this one, but it does look nice. It's nice and quilted. Actually, Bosal is lovely for quilting through if you've never done that before. Well, we could do that, couldn't we? Do a bit of quilting on the bag, that'd be nice. Let's do that. Because it's so thick, the stitches really sink in. It creates a lot of definition. Haven't used it before. So just bear with me while I'm sewing in rows and rows and rows of straight lines. So that's what the strap's going to look like. Let's do some quilting on this. I'll just do it on the one side, just to show you how it looks, because it is pretty good. I'm going to use an erasable ink pen, which I know I had because I used it in the last right over. How'd you get over there? And I'm just going to draw some lines on here. Now, the thing is, you don't have to be entirely accurate. So if you want to do some cross hatching, then you can do. I'm just going to do a little bit of random lines. So maybe they can overlap. Maybe they don't. Let's go that way. And then we'll do one that way. So no measuring or anything like that. Lengthen that stitch again, and I'm just going to sew over the top and show you what it looks like. Ooh, foot pedal's migrated. It's on its way to Florida, I think. Straight over the lines. Paper, I use, yes, paper piecing, definitely, Ellen. A glue pen for that. Do you know, I think I might have told you before, when I was learning how to quilt many moons ago, one of the first things we learnt was English paper piecing using hexagons and brown paper, and hand tacking or basting all of the fabrics around it. And I actually said to the tutor, could you just glue that? I was almost thrown out of the class. She thought it was a disgraceful idea. I mean, that was a lot of years ago, but nowadays glue is made specifically for things like that. And I don't think it's a cheats way. I think it adds accuracy, if anything. It's like, who was on the website? No, Lindsay, it's going to stay on here, on Facebook and on YouTube. The fabric's on the website. For sewing zips in, the glue pens for sewing zips in are amazing. It's an awful lot easier than pinning. Hi Joni in Michigan, welcome along today. We've got lots of new people. We've got 625 of you on Facebook. I can't see how many we've got on YouTube. Let me know, because we're getting busier and busier every week, aren't we, on these sites? I do lengthen the stitch a little bit, Lydia, you're right there. So that's what we've got. So I'm just going to run the iron over the top. I know the board's not here, but just take away the pen marks. Always test those pens before you use them, because sometimes they can stain or bleach your fabric. Jane, that's my favourite glue, HT2, absolutely. Right. Oh, Jane's got a Bosel. But you can see how, I'm talking to the wrong camera, aren't I? There, you can see how the quilting just makes those stitches sink into the Bosel. It's nice to hinge it as well, actually, if you're going to put, if you're making a box or something, if you just sew straight down the corners, it does make a very nice crease. 628, I know. Right. Oh, Louise, the rainbow was 1988. That was a while ago. And yes, I was Zippy's love interest. What's the bad news, Fiona? 417. Oh wow, that's over 1,000 of you between Facebook and YouTube. Oh, thank you so much. It's lovely to have your company this morning. Jean's here for the first time this morning. She's in Nevada. Hello, Jean, and welcome along. We're here every Saturday morning. Most of us are here every Saturday morning on YouTube and on Facebook Live at 11 o'clock. So we have a bit of a chat. I might bring you another ditty and make something. And if you have any requests, then come and let me know. This was a request for a little Easter basket. So can't always accommodate everybody, but it's, well, I endeavour to. Right, let's get this this bag made up. So I'm just going to quilt the one side because I think we've seen that. So I'm now going to sew these two pieces together just along each side here. We're making an Easter basket, Diane. Now, because the foam is cut to the same size, I can feel where that is and I can line that up so that I know I'm sewing them together perfectly. So I'm not lining up the edge of the fabric, I'm lining up the edge of the Bosel. And if you wanted to pop a clip in there to hold it in place, then that's a jolly good idea. And literally down both sides. So Brenda sets her alarm every Saturday morning. Thank you, Brenda. I'm going to make the stitch small, so the default on this one is actually 2.4, so that's what I'm staying with. And I'm going to sew up against the edge of the bosal. Let's do that. It doesn't matter if you catch it or if you sew through it slightly, but if you sew right along the edge of the bosal, when the sides of the bag come round, they kind of butt up against each other, so you get a nice finish. But don't worry too much if it doesn't happen. And the same on this side. So just making sure those two edges are meeting. Don't you go anywhere. How are you? And I've got a feeling my thread's about to go. Oh, just in time. See, in the previous hour when I was live on, where was I? On the Crafting Show Live Facebook page just before I came here, I had one of those moments where I ran out of thread, but I'd still been sewing for a while. I just picked up some thread, did I not? Honestly. Don't move anywhere, and I'm losing things all over the place. Right, oh, let's take a little bit of this. Probably on the floor. So we'll go grey, but that'll be fine. Christina's watching on both Facebook and YouTube. So let's just put a bit of that in there. Oh, Andrew's just ordered those scissors. That honestly, it's £7.99. I was so taken aback. I wanted them on the website anyway because I love them. I was expecting, honestly, £35. I would have paid £35 for them. But £7.99. Right, let's take you out of there. So just dropping my bobbin. So what I've done is don't need you. Is to sew both sides together next to my mouth. Oh, they're right in front of me. Oh, honestly, thanks, Sarah. Soon to go travelling for a motorhome. I've just been told I'm going to. Oh, oh, Fiona, is that the bad news? She's travelling for a year in a motorhome, and I've just been told only allowed to take a small box of sewing stuff. That depends what you call a small box. Because this can be a small box compared to that, can't it? So I think you'd fit a lot in a small box, personally. The scissors are core bond. They're left and right-handed. They are just, I know I'm going on about these scissors, but they are just lovely scissors. Can't believe the price of them. We do have the black-handled ones as well for when they go, and they're even less. I think they're £5.99. Lisa's got posh rose gold ones. Get you, Lisa. Right, so that's that. So now we're going to sew in the base. So I'm actually going to mark the centre of this. There's my pen. So that's 4 inches, so I'm going to mark the 2 inch. Whoops, there we go again. 2 inches across there, because that's where I want to match the seam to this. So again, I'm lining up the bosal, not the edge of the fabric, and that line is going right over the seam, and you can either clip it up in it, buy along your way, that's a good idea from Lynn. Not sewing bosal into a seam. It depends on the type of bag, actually, Sandra. I have sewn bosal into seams before now. You just don't get a very crisp corner because it wants to open out again. But I do think it's easy to cut your shape from bosal and then sew up against it. So you see how that fits perfectly into the bottom. And again, I'm just lining up the edges of the bosal. I find it easier, I mean, if your pattern's appropriate, to cut your pattern from bosal and then add the seam allowance from the fabric. If you're following a pattern, it may not be appropriate to do that, but otherwise you could be finding that you're trimming your bosal back to the seam allowance of your fabric, if that makes sense, and that can be quite fiddly, so it's easier this way. So that's going in like that, and then we'll sew it in place. So this is where bosal does like to fight back occasionally, but we're going to take control and have no nonsense from it. So once you get going, and leave the needle down whenever you stop, and the main thing is that those lines at the side match up. So when I come to the corner, I know you can't see that properly up there, but it makes sense in a minute. Again, leave the needle down, maneuver everything around, and just make sure that your bosal's lining up. Put down, and away we go. And so don't worry if you do kind of clip the bosal with the stitch a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Don't go unpicking it or anything like that, it doesn't really matter. So going into that corner there. Don't worry too much about all of this bulk that's happening here. Just concentrate on the actual stitch line you're making. And shove all of this out of the way. So into the next corner. Down we go. Priscilla, I am using an Elna 570A. So Elna, Janome, same company. I like the brand. And this is a nice compact little machine. It's actually my daughter's machine. And it's not too heavy, but it is comprehensive. It's got a lot of features to it, which I like. There we go. And around this side. Hide fabric in your clothes, that's a good idea. Have you put weight on, love? No, it doesn't. A bit of fabric, that's all. Right. And then we'll turn this through, just make sure I've caught all of the bottom pieces. Pop out the corners. I've just caught a little bit there, let me show you. I've got a little bit of a crease and I don't really want that. So I'm just going to undo it and do that little bit again. So I wasn't very neat in the corner there, so let's snip here. Free the corner. That's okay actually. There we go, that'll do. So that's the shape of my basket, that's it, there. With the one side quilted. Okay, let us, that's better, didn't look quite straight. Let's pop in on the handles, and no, not happy with that, not happy with that at all. I'm going to do that bit again. Got a little bit carried away in the corner there, I think. Oops. I know it's only a little Easter basket, but I wanted to be right. Oh, I see what I did. I caught a little bit of the side fabric in the base. So I'm just going to talk amongst yourselves while I just do this. But it was making the bottom a little bit wonky, and you'll talk about me if I don't get it straight. Oh, Jane, I know, the church is right opposite the house. It's lovely to hear the church bells during the day. It's not so nice in the middle of the night. But I'm not complaining. There we go. It was just, I'll show you, it's just the corner. I just pinched a little bit too much fabric in that corner, so I've undone it, and I'm just going to do that again. That's what I did. These things happen. So I'll just go over that little bit again there. Josie's had the vaccine, lovely. The bag on the shelf behind me, who is that? Sorry, that's Erica. This one here is it's one of the storage bags on the website. It's one of the new things from Corbon that I was getting terribly excited about. And it's in yellow and it's in blue. Just to mention. Okay, so I'm just that's better. Re-sewing over that corner. Let's get that perfect. That's better. Oh, Julie, these things happen, particularly when you're talking and rushing and doing too many things all at once. I'm not opposed to getting out the quick unpick every now and again. It's what they're for, isn't it? But look, sorry, that's Fiona asked about the sewing machine, but the look I got would have. So you're going to be doing some hand sewing while you're travelling then, are you? That's better, just a little, just neaten that up a bit. Oh, come on. Just got a little stitch caught. Perfect. Now we'll have the handles on. It's not perfect. And the handle again is going to go from the front to the back for this one to make a nice beach bag as well, actually. Now it's perfect. So that's going to go like so, but it needs to face downwards. So it should just about fit. So let's have the centre of this marked. So I'm just measuring from one side to the other. I could have marked that beforehand actually. And mark the centre, which is now 6.5. I'll pop a pin in there because I've lost my pen. So just here. And the same on the opposite side. So I'll just line those pins up together here. And then that's going to go facing downwards. So I've got the seam facing upwards here. That's going to go there. And wrap it all the way around to the other side. It doesn't matter if it doesn't quite fit. That's a little bit short. This doesn't matter at all. And that's going to go there. And then I'm going to sew across here just within the seam allowance there. Oh, Mavis, it's a little one. It's just a little Easter basket. I'll measure the finished size when I've finished. At the beginning of the video, I did give you all of the measurements. So if you want to have a watch back, what was it? 6.5 inches by, was it 14? I can't remember. I'll write them all down when I've finished and put them on the description page. How's that? Right, so that's that. So again, it's a little bit tight, that's fine. It's not going to finish up like that. Let's pop these back in the pin cushion. Am I on the wrong camera? Gina. I keep doing that because I'm my own vision mixer. Now then, where's the lining gone? So I need to put the lining pieces together now, so we'll do that in just the same way, but I will need to leave a gap in the bottom of these. So I'm going to use the same seam allowance, which is about 1/2 inch. Let's sew these two pieces right sides together just along the long side here. So whatever seam allowance you've left around the foam when you cut those out, you need to make the same seam allowance here. And on this side. Julie, if you're on, the video will stay on Facebook. So when I've finished, if you have a look on my Facebook page, Debbie Shaw Sewing, I'm just going to crease the middle of this while we're chatting. The roller. If you go under videos, then all of the live chats are going to be there. So every Saturday morning there'll be a new video popping up, because that's when we do the lives. So they'll always be there, or on YouTube as well, because we were broadcasting on both. So if you wanted to watch on YouTube, a lot of people have been watching on YouTube as opposed to Facebook, because you can watch it on your TV. So I can be widescreen and everything. So I'm just going to pop a few pins in here. So just like with before, I've lined up the centre of the base with the seam at the side. Let's pop that in there. I'm not worried about seams pressed open or anything like that. If you have time, then that's fine, but I'm not too fussed. So that goes in the centre there. Alison, there will be a tutorial for my sewing machine mat. The main project is going to be from the Half Yard Club, and that is a sewing machine dust cover, and I haven't actually got it here to show you. I'll show you next week. Next month's project is a sewing machine dust cover, just one that folds over, with some crazy log cabin patchwork pockets across the front, and there is a thread catcher with a mouse holding it, so like a mouse pin cushion. So that's going to be a main project, but I thought in the Facebook Live, because we do a Facebook Live on the Half Yard Sewing Club website once a month. It's normally the last Saturday in the month, so it'll be the week after next. Was it the week? No, it's next week. It's next week. So next Saturday, I'm going to make the matching sewing machine mat live. So you don't have to be a club member to join us on the Facebook page. You'll need to be a club member if you want everything else that goes with it. But for this one, we're just going to do it live on Facebook next week. And it will be on YouTube live at the same time as well. So it's so easy. So let's do these quick projects on a Saturday morning, I think, where there's no pattern, there's nothing to download, and you don't need to buy anything special if you've got a bit of a stash of fabric, or a collection of fabric, should we say. So I'm just sewing in the base in the same way as I did with the outside of the bag. So, oh, thanks, Julie. I normally share the tutorials, to be honest. If they're live, they'll be on the Half Yard Club Facebook page and on this one. I like to pop them out so as many people as they can see them. Now remember, in the one side here, I will need to leave a turning gap. So needle down in the corner, I'm just lining up the edges there, and there you go. So that's where my turning gap's going to be. It's the Bosal single-sided fusible fleece I'm using, Carolyn. It doesn't come in different thicknesses. They're all about, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Let's put that in here, so all the way down and turn around. And so that's that. So that's exactly the same as the outside of the basket, but with a turning gap in one side here, which is a little bit small. I may have to make that a little bit bigger to get the bag through. So I would leave that at 4 or 5 inches, to be honest. Not quite as small as I left it there. Right, then we need to put these two together, and they need to be right sides together. So the lining is inside out, the outside of the bag is the right side out. So let's drop the outside. The outside of the bag goes inside the inside of the bag with the right sides together, like so. And I'm just going to sew all the way around the top, matching the seams at the side. I'm going to squish those in opposite directions. And again, I'm sewing up against the edge of the Bosal. So you can pin that if you like, but it's just as easy not to sometimes. Let's pop that under here. So I'm sewing from the Bosal side. Can you see what I'm doing? I need another camera. I must get sorted with another camera. So line up the two edges. Again, that handle is quite short, so it's pulling up the outside of the bag, but that's fine, it'll still work. Needle down, push that out of the way. In fact, we'll have that handle there. Move it to one side. Just make sure it's lying flat as I sew around it. There we go. Sarah's casting from a mobile Chromecast. No idea what that means. Again, just manoeuvre your fabric. Keep sewing around the top of the bow saw. Handle out of the way. Matching at the side seams, which just want to match up anyway because it just wants to. It's just easy. Where's my foot pedal gone? Come here. And just get sewn all the way around. Elaine's going to make custom Easter baskets for friends in Tennessee. So what do you do for Easter? Is it big celebrations? We're celebrating this year, will it? Lydia's great at doing zips if she says so herself. Yes, BB, so this is a regular event on a Saturday morning. 11 o'clock live on YouTube and on Facebook every Saturday morning. We make a lot of bags. I like to make something quite simple because we're only normally here for about an hour. We're running a little bit over today. So we're here for about an hour, so an hour-long project, a little bit of a catch-up. If we've got any news for you or anything's happening, then I'll let you know. Any book launches and that kind of thing. Down with the techie savvy. I'm not too bad, Cher. I did build my own website, but I think it's not so much not being tech savvy, it's not having an interest in it, to be honest. Right, so we have this. I've got to try and turn it through that very small hole, so bear with me. Vera, if you just type my name in, Debbie Shaw, S-H-O-R-E, then all the videos should come up there. Yes, it's going to be wonky spring next month. That's all finished now. In fact, I'm working on a wonky summer at the moment. That's Half Yard Club projects. Oh gosh, our Iris, hope you get better soon. Hi Jeannie. Sylvia Jones, why is it no matter how carefully I measure and cut, the seams never line up? I have to pin round everything. There's nothing wrong with pinning and manipulating. Whatever it takes to get your seams to line up is fine. Right, we've got this, look. So I have an ill, which I'm now going to sew over on the sewing machine. Oh, I didn't know that, Sarah, Chromecast. So literally fold the sides of that hole together and sew straight across. If you wanted this to be completely invisible, you could use a hand ladder stitch, but it's only at the bottom of a little basket, so I don't think that's necessary. Oh, Geraldine, I haven't got any dress patterns. There must be lots of easy. Have a look on YouTube. There must be somebody making dress patterns without too much fuss. Mary does get sewing supplies in Paxos quite easily, as far as I'm aware. If that's the Mary that shops with us a lot. Oh gosh, Heather. Oh, get better soon, all of you lot. Brenda, Bobbin's inside. She hasn't been down here for a while. I think it's. We did have a little sofa in the corner of the studio, which we're now using in the house as part of a room set. So she's got a blanket on the floor, and I think she's a little bit perturbed. She doesn't want to be on a blanket on the floor. So she'll come out and have a bark when I first come down here in the morning when I'm setting up, but she doesn't tend to come in anymore. So I'm just pressing around the top of this little, but I'm really pleased with this. I think it's looking lovely. Oh, Amanda's just done a 4.5 mile walk with a pooch. I haven't been on a long walk with Bobbin since she had her operation. We used to go for a 4 mile walk every day. Right, so let's give that a good old press. With your Bosal, by the way, if it does, it will be creased up. That will be so creased up when you take it, when you turn everything through. Give it a blast of steam from your iron. I haven't got any water in this one to do that, but a good old blast of steam will help that to help all the creases to melt away. I'm just going to press around the bottom a bit as well, make it nice and square, and then to some topsy no share. When I was in the house, we had a little studio in the house. Bobbin's my dog, by the way, if you knew. She'd sit in the window and have a good old bark at everybody, but she's got a rather loud bark, so you can't really get on with anything when she's barking. But yeah, not fond of down the garden. A luxury dog bed with treat pockets. You tear it to pieces for the treats. Why say by hand and the machine can do it much faster and neater? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's how we're looking. I think one final, so I'm going to trim off these threads because I don't like the threads. The final thing I'm going to do is just to sew around the top, because I think that'll give a nice neat finish. So I'll have the accessory compartment off. Thanks, Kate. All the fabric, well, it was, I'm not sure if it's still there, is on my website on Debbie Shaw's Sewing. I've got the Bosal on there, the scissors on there. We can post abroad. It does tend to be quite expensive. I think it's about £20 to get to America, but we can do that, or we can have a quote if you need one. Sandra, that could easily be reversible, easily be a reversible bag. That was such a good idea. Just need to sew that hole up neatly at the bottom. But a larger version for a shopping bag would be really nice. Maybe not with one handle going straight across the centre, maybe with two handles on each side. Or make them quite long so you've got two shoulder straps. That would be a good idea. There we go. Now Kim's going to have to fight me for this machine, I think. I'll just buy her another one. So that's that finished. So cute little basket. If you are having an Easter egg hunt around the house this year, dividers for small items. I'm not so sure on this style because of the shape of it, but I do have on YouTube bags with dividers in there if you wanted to make one of those. Hi Olivia from Philly, is that Philadelphia? Do I ever use Decaville instead of Bosal? Yeah, I was showing earlier on, actually, we do have Decaville on the website, and we've got the thick and we've got the fine stuff on there as well, so yes, definitely use that. You may find that, if you're a new sewer, a little bit more difficult to work with, but it does give a nice finish. Who else have we got, because we're going to go in a minute. Adaptive, yes, kinetic storage would be a good idea, somewhere to keep your rollers maybe, or bobbins and things, and not the dog, in your workspace would be a nice idea. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Oh, Nikki's just come in for a chat and we're just about to go. Well, I shall see you again next Saturday morning. And again, we're going to be on the Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook page, although I'll try and share it. We don't ship a lot to the States, Elaine, because it's so expensive, but we can do. Hi Louise, first time watching us. So anyway, so next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on the Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook page, which I'll try and share on this page as well so you don't miss it. And we will be live on YouTube next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock as well. And I'm going to be making the little sewing machine mat, which matches some of the projects that are coming up next month on the Half Yard Sewing Club. So it's a really, really simple project. We'll make some bias binding. We're going to machine sew it all on. There's going to be no hand sewing for that one. So that's going to be a nice, quick little project as well. Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Shirley. And, oh, two Shirleys at the same time. One on Facebook, one on YouTube. Thanks, BB to Sew. Thank you, Michelle, as well. Oh yes, and on Wednesday, forgot, thank you Janet, if you have a look on my website, which is debbieshawsewing.com, on Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're live there as well. So there'll be another demonstration. I don't know what we're making there yet, but we'll make something, and I'll keep you all up to date. More on a Robin doll. Now, I haven't done anything for the dolls for a while. I'm actually going to be writing a book about Maddie later on in the year. Oh, thank you, Zell. Zell's been with me all morning this morning. And you, Molly, thank you very much. So, Wednesday, debbieshawsewing.com at 2 o'clock live. Next Saturday morning, YouTube and Half Your Sewing Club Facebook page live too. So I hope you've enjoyed this morning. I hope you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. You take care of yourself, and I shall see you again very soon. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.